Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Ford, and this is Dad's Going Solo on the Going Solo Network. I have Cece here with me today to talk about uh, some different feelings as a father, and feeling helpless. Again, my name is Adam Ford. We have Cece. Hello, hello. And
Hello.
we will be kind of breaking down how it feels to feel helpless as a father or as a parent. Really, is this show kind of can go for both parents. Being helpless in a parental role is a very tough thing to deal with because you are looked to by another human, small human, large human, whatever age your child is, to be the strong one in the in that relationship or in that family. And every situation, every family is different. So there are also a lot of other things that go along with it. And one of the things that I've found being a father is I have felt helpless at times where I was overwhelmed. Just to being a father or um, being a parent in general, taking care of my son, I was overwhelmed with everything, and that includes work, friendships, relationships, everything, just all at once. And it's hard to do when you're caring for another individual. And Cece, I know you have kids, so you've probably felt that at some point in your life. Um,
Yes, very much.
when you did feel those feelings, for me, I had to take a step back. I had to really sit down and center my mind and really find a stable ground for myself where I felt I was comfortable to continue to build up who I am or whatever I'm going through again. Um, when you feel that, what do you find has helped you in the past with dealing with that feeling of being overwhelmed?
Well, for me, I just try, like you said, to just try to step back and just stop beating myself up because I think that I'm doing the best I can do, right? And so, as
Absolutely.
long as I know truly in my heart of hearts, that I am doing the very best that I can do, that I'm seeking help, I'm doing, doing all the motions in the right direction. That's really all I can do is, and my goal as a parent was try to be a better parent than my parents were you know I try to do that, even though I thought my mom was really good. I thought my mom was really good, but as growing up, like all kids, we think our parents could do better, right?
Absolutely. I
So
mean, every I've never seen, I've never had anybody who thought that, oh, I wish my parent would do this. Like every kid goes through that. Everybody has that at some point in their life. Um, yeah, not beating up on yourself or being too hard on yourself is probably one of the main things that I had to. I mean, in my experience, I've always been my own worst critic. Absolutely. And when it came to that, I judge myself and hold myself to a certain standard that if I'm not hitting that standard, I'm instantly fall into like a depression or get an anxiety feeling that I'm not doing enough. And I've felt that being a dad where I felt like I wasn't doing enough for him.
mhm.
And I thought that I was letting him down when really all he needed was me to be there. You know, he just needed me to be consistent and be there. That is one thing that I think happens with parents is there is this feeling of being overwhelmed, and we feel like we have to do all of this stuff for our kids, especially when they're littler kids, and especially new parents. Um, but really, what I found is he just wanted me there. Just be there, show up, and stay consistent. The more you stay consistent in your child's life, the more that relationship and bond grows and grows and grows into something beautiful.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember falling into a deep depression. And I think that's the kind of the next thing I wanted to touch on was depression was one of the things that really rocked me for a long time as a parent, um, because I didn't want it to affect him, but he could tell that I was sad, that I wasn't feeling okay. Um, and it didn't strike me until one day he came to me when he was older and was like, you know, Daddy, what's wrong? Why are you sad right now? And that I was like, okay, well, now he knows. Now he can see it and he realizes those things. And I need to figure out how to deal with this in a better manner, I guess, is how I want to say it.
Well,
Um,
kids they tend to sense things too. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think that we overthink at times, and kids they tend to, and I think men really kind of overthink maybe a little bit more
Yeah,
than women.
that's not false. That is very true. I think that men overthink a lot more.
Mhm.
Um,
Because we're more emotional, maybe, or we
yeah,
show our emotions.
yeah, and I think
We
we
try
try
to
to
help
hide
kids
them.
through. Yeah.
I think that's the stigma that men were, especially in a family setting, we're the men of the house, the man of the relationship. We have to hold everything together. You know what I mean? And that gets a lot to carry. That does. So it's. I think at that point, that's when we start overthinking. We start doubting ourselves and our abilities. We start trying different ways to fix things that just aren't going right because we are overthinking the matter
Hmm.
most of the time. And there's this stigma, I think, that men, boys don't that boys don't cry mentality, and I don't necessarily believe with that anymore. I don't agree with that because I don't care what gender you are. If you're struggling with something and you feel like you need to get that out and feel that, you have every right in every way to feel those feelings. Nobody's feelings should be discounted because of their gender or because of anything really. You're a human being, you have those feelings, and it's natural. It's what we go through.
Hmm.
Um,
I think has changed now
yes,
on that.
100%.
To be emotional, it's not a, taboo type of thing. It's not, and women and I believe more people want to see a sensitive side to a man. We want to. I mean, just even in a relationship, just stepping aside from the dad, being dads,
Hmm.
but stepping aside from that and into relationships, women want a man that is going to be sensitive, but will also show that sensitive side.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so it's important. And then I think to our kids, it's important to show that we're human. That we're not just structured, or a guy isn't just all about being strong. That they can be sensitive to feelings and emotions and stuff. So yeah, definitely.
And I think that as a parent, you have to be able to have that sensitive side to you. There has
Mhm.
to. I mean, you can't just be 100% of the time always forceful or always strict. You have to have compassion and feeling and caring to be able to raise any child, I think. And uh,
And
growing
Adam,
up in,
just not to just I just want to make sure that I say that there's a difference between showing that you're sensitive and that you have feelings about something and still being strong. Because I
absolutely,
think our kids, want to look at their fathers as being that strong person,
yes,
that one that they can go to for anything. And but they also want to know that there's a human side to that individual, not just one that
absolutely,
isn't going to because if you're not willing to show your emotions, then you're also hiding the love that you have for someone, you know
absolutely,
and we
absolutely.
all
And
want to feel that love,
yeah,
don't
there has to be a happy medium. There has to
we?
be, somewhere in there that you're staying in the middle where you can show the love and compassion and feeling, but then also still be that strong fatherly figure, parental figure,
Mhm.
um, that your kid looks up to. And I mean, it's a hard balance sometimes. And I know I struggle still, to this day with anxiety a lot. And it a lot of the time it has to do with am I doing well as a father? Am I a good father? Um, and my son's turned 5 this year, so he's
Cute age.
growing up, having more emotions. He's able to express those emotions more, and I want him to be able to express all the emotions that he wants, but I also want to know that he can come to me to be that strong person as well.
Mhm.
So trying to find that medium in that happy center place is a struggle sometimes. Um, and it has definitely set off my anxiety a few times with him. But staying strong, I think, is one of the hardest things to do. I mean, we always say, to people who struggle with depression or anxiety, things like that, well, I'm glad you're staying strong. Yeah, that takes a lot more out of you than you think. And as a father or as a parent, you have to be able to do that, but then also continue your duties as a parent. You can't just be tired, exhausted, and just hide. You have to somehow harness those feelings and keep them in check enough that you can still do your normal duties, everyday duties. And it's a struggle. It plays games with your head, and it's not the most fun thing in the world. And I know that I've seen this a lot more. Talk to a lot of the guys that I work with, um, uh, who are going through either like custody battles or divorces, things like that, who are having this anxiety. And well, how is the child going to view me? And how is it? You have to control that narrative. You have to be able to show the child that you still love them, even though, say, with divorce, even you and your partner aren't together any longer. You still That doesn't change how you feel about them. And I've seen a lot of kids who have had gone through divorces with parents and whatnot, and they blame themselves a lot of the time.
Mhm.
And I think the most important thing we can do as parents is we have to reassure them they have nothing to do with what made that relationship fall apart. Because the minute that they start feeling that is the minute they start disliking themselves, and it starts a whole it opens up a whole nother box of emotions for them. And we, as parents, I think, need to really work together, co-parenting, divorce, whatever it is, work together to show that child that they're not the reason, and that they're the love for that kid is not gone because of this relationship being running its course. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. My daughter shared something with me when I was divorced, because it was a second, well, my third marriage. But when I got divorced, and my daughter was older, I had older children, and everything. And so she said to me, because I was very concerned because my son lived with my ex-husband. He did a great job, an absolutely great job with our son. And I always was feeling insecure about it because he wasn't with me. And I thought, oh, I've
Mm-hmm.
been judged, and I wanted him to have a good time when he was with me and all this kind of stuff. And my daughter said to me, she said, Mom, it's not about having a good time. It's not about making him comfortable and making him, happy and taking him places and doing all that. It's about being a parent and being together and being like you would normally be, the kind of
Absolutely.
parent you would normally be. And so she said, so you don't have to take him to Disney all the time. You don't have to, you know, go to the skating rink or whatever. It's do things that you would normally do all the time. Correct him
Absolutely.
like you would normally do. Get mad at him like you would normally do,
Yep.
and love him like you would normally do.
Absolutely. And like that comes back to that consistency thing,
Hmm.
where if you stay consistent, your child will be happy. You will raise a child how you have planned to raise them. And I think that a lot of guys out there are afraid to ask for help. I
Hmm.
feel like that is something that working with the guys that I work with, they they don't like to be seen as the one who asked for help,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to emotional things.
Right.
And I just don't think that that is necessarily the best thing in the world. I think that they you should ask for help. I think that if you need to talk to somebody, you need to sit down, whether it's a family member, whether it's your best friend or some friend, or if you need to go see a counselor or a therapist or whatever. If that helps you, go do that, because getting it out is a big thing, and I think that that needs to. I would like to see more dads do that and have feeling a bit more. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking is that here's the thing is if dads can connect in a like-minded environment where they're feeling secure about not only themselves but about what their dreams are and what they want to do. If they can connect with other dads and they can talk and share experiences, that would be, I think, a tremendous not only bonding um, place for them to be, but also a great tool because a lot of I think that things that and that's why we have the dadsgoingsolo.com. We
Mm-hmm.
also have the Facebook Dads Going Solo. And if they use that to where they join it and they can get with other dads going through the same experiences, sharing the same things, they won't feel, number one, all alone. They won't feel helpless in their environment. They won't feel like they're the lone guy on the mountain trying to accomplish, all the things that they're doing. And it's
Absolutely.
connecting with that and having that bond of other like-minded. And it doesn't have to be like, for instance, you're getting remarried, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
36 days.
you're still a dad going solo, you know
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
even if you're, I mean, dad's going solo is not just about the singular divorced guy. It's
Not at
also
all.
about the guy trying to raise his son the best that he or daughter the best that they can do. So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I completely agree with that. Yes, I am getting remarried.
Mhm.
I'll be getting married in 36 days. Um, and I'm very thankful that I've brought that person into my life, into my son's life.
Mhm.
But I'm still a dad, going solo. I'm still a dad. I'm still here as a father, and it's it, it is hard to stay on top of what you are feeling while also trying to stay on top of what the child is feeling,
Mhm.
and then also trying to build a relationship with somebody else. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. And if it's approached the proper way, the child will continue to be that happy child that they've always been. And
Mhm.
I think that a lot of dads let their emotion or their feeling that they of being overwhelmed or whatever it is, they show that in who they are and how they are conducting themselves with the child. And I think that that has a lot more adverse effect on a child than we know that it does. And I think that if there's one big topic or one big tip that I can get is make sure that you are watching your emotions around your child,
Mhm.
because like you said, they can sense that, they can pick up on that, whether you are a single dad, whether you are divorced, whether you have been remarried or you're in a relationship or getting remarried or whatever the case may be. Always watch how you conduct yourself with your child, because that is what they're going to remember forever, the longest. And I
Well, and
think that
again, it's like when you connect with other dads, like if you did join the Facebook page or the website, and you connect with other dads, you can show your emotions and your insecurities there, right?
yeah, I
And
think
then
dads
you
going
can
solo.
get tools to be able to help you, you know, approach your children in a more positive and secure way.
Absolutely. And I think the dads going solo uh, Facebook page, the Dad is Going Solo website. I think that is a great tool that any father should use.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because, like you said, there you are going to find people on that site, on that page, that go to there to find the same thing you're looking for, whether it be help or a place to vent or whatever the case may be. That is what this is set up for, and I think that more people than you know are going to be on that, and it's not anything to feel bad about. You're just trying to connect with people, like-minded individuals, and I think that's a great thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
that the more that we come around dads each other, we come around each other, and the better that we will feel going forward, because we've talked about it. We know somebody in the same situation. That's just how it happens, especially when you're feeling a certain way. If you know somebody who's going through the same thing, it's helpful to be able to have that conversation with them, bounce ideas off them. Even if you just need to come somewhere and vent, come type it out on our Facebook wall. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
And see who will respond, and then that's how you meet new friends. I mean, that's how you meet new people. It's I think one of the coolest tools that you have come up with is that website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too, and I hope that you'll be on it and help coordinate it, and
100%.
yeah, and get things going there. But it is true. I mean, I think that we all go through anxiety. We all go through those questionable times when we wonder if we're doing it right. Like any parent, I mean, I think all parents, and you don't have to be single to experience some of those feelings. You all wonder if you're doing it right, and like I said, I just use the base of my parents and try to be a little bit better than what they were. And
Absolutely.
although I know that even though when I was a child, I told my mother that I was going to allow my children to eat as much ice cream as they want.
When
She
I'm a
told
parent,
me,
my kids are going to be able to do whatever they want. They can have
that's
ice.
what
They
I
can go to bed
said.
at 2 in the morning.
That's what I
Now,
told her. She said, "Well, when you grow up and you have children of your own, you can decide that." She said, "But right now, you're not getting as much ice cream as you want."
absolutely, it was the same thing with like me staying up late. I used to be like, oh, when I have kids, my kids gonna be able to stay up however late they want. Now I'm like, yo, it's 8:30. You need to go to bed. It is too late for your shenanigans. Get in bed.
Oh. So funny,
But yeah,
funny.
I think that the dad's going solo.com is a great tool. I think that a lot of dads have this feeling of, where do I turn? Or if I, one thing that one of the kids I talked to said to me was, what if I show these feelings and they're used against me in the custody case that I'm going through? And I did not know how to answer that, because I would rather that he feel the ability to show his feelings and voice his opinions and feelings than bottle everything up inside and become angry or become bitter or become, and so it's a difficult balance to see
Well,
where.
okay, here's the problem: is where you're expressing those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if you were on, an environment like the Dad's Going Solo, if you're on that website, you're with other dads that are feeling and going through the same thing you're going through. So if you're expressing, and of course, if you're expressing where, let's say you're getting a divorce or a breakup or something like that, and you're expressing feelings regarding your partner on that site, there's other guys that are feeling that same stuff, the same
Absolutely.
breakup stuff. And, it's really, of course, you can't do anything like, want to cause harm or anything. But if you're saying that you're upset and your feelings are hurt and you're having to go through this and you're mad and, angry over it. Sure, we get that. We all mad and angry at times at different
Absolutely.
in in our breakup. And so these people get it, right? So they understand and they can chime in and talk to you about it and help you get through some of those difficult times. But to stay home and say it to your kids is not what you need to do.
No,
No.
because that's where if you keep it bottled inside, that's where it will come out. Because you'll get frustrated that your kids are doing something, and then that's when you explode and have that
Right.
you can't have that. I think that one thing that I've seen the most of working with kids who are traumatized or have been in traumatic situations, things like that, that's what they remember the most is when their mom or dad has gotten very mad and yelled at them or took it out on them, and it's heartbreaking to see that. So I've always vowed that I wouldn't let myself get to that point because I don't want that to be what my son remembers when somebody brings up his dad in 30 years and he's like, oh yeah, that guy who used to yell at me. Like, I don't want that. So it's basically the point of what I want to say is that dads, or parents, if you are in any way feeling overwhelmed or depressed, have that anxiety feeling, talk to somebody or get onto to Facebook, get on to Dad's Going Solo, get on somewhere. My private messages on Facebook are open. Come and vent to me, and I will, I'll be there to listen. But find somebody that you can talk to get those emotions out, to make yourself be able to take yourself out of the situation, examine what's going on, and then get back to being you. I think that is one of the biggest and most important things that a lot of dads lose sight of is, oh, now I have a kid, I can't be myself anymore. That's not true. Now you have a kid, now you have to raise this kid, but you can still be yourself. You're not losing a part of you, you're gaining a little you, basically, is what it comes to. And I think that thought as well plays into dads feeling depressed or sad about situations, because they feel like they don't have freedom or they feel like they aren't ever going to be able to do this, that, or the other thing again, and it's not the case.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing is that when you're talking, sometimes when you're talking to other people that are experiencing what you're experiencing, if you're irrational, right, they can call you on it. They can say, "Hey, wait a minute here," and bring it back around. And so I think those are important, an important situation to be able to do. We've got, I think you sent me a message.
Yeah, it was me.
I forgot. Oh yeah, we got to do a break.
I was just looking at the time and I was like, I think we have to do a break.
Oh yeah, we're getting so into this conversation. I forgot we have to do a break. So let's do that. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit further let's talk about, the feeling helplessness and what we can do to try to help get us through that. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. You guys are listening to Dad's Going Solo. We are going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hello.
Welcome back. How are
Yeah,
you?
it's great to be back.
It is. I feel like we haven't. I feel like you and I haven't done a show for a while, but a lot of things got in the way, and you had a trip, and then I had a trip, and we all had. But I'm
Yeah.
happy to be back and doing a show with you.
Yeah.
This is the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and
Mhm.
this is Dad's Going Solo. Uh,
Oh, it's
we have
not
myself.
Wednesday, is it? It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
I
It's Thursday. We
have
are
to
talking
change
about
some stuff.
being a single parent, being a single dad, and feeling helpless. And before the break, we said we were going to come back and talk about different ways that we can channel those emotions, I guess, for lack of
Yeah.
a better term, or deal with those emotions. And one way that I really got my own time to myself and was able to channel was I went to the gym. I went to the gym a lot. I would go and just kind of, that was my escape. That was my place where I could think. I could put earphones in and go to a weight bench and get all my frustration out right there. A lot of the guys that I talk to, they will go and they'll box or they'll go play a sport. They'll you know go play video games. Some of them. It just, you have to find something to decompress.
Right.
In my opinion, and I think that finding something that does that for you, that's a healthy way to do that, is probably one of the best things that you can do as a parent, as a human. It really does help.
Mhm. Yeah. I think another thing is to get out into nature a little bit, go for a walk, do some things like that. Even if you do it with your children, you kind of go out a little bit and that little bit quiet time, let them kind of do their thing, collect rocks or stones or whatever it is that.
Absolutely. If so, yeah. If you look at like my Instagram page or my Facebook page, I have a lot of pictures and stuff of the three of us out in nature, because
Mhm.
that is Jacqueline's happy place. She loves being out in nature. I mean, one of the things that we picked up last year was paddleboarding, and
Mhm.
last year we didn't take Demarius with us, but this year he's gone with us twice now, and he loves it. So but it's also very calming to be out doing something in nature and seeing beautiful different creations, things like that. But it gives you that kind of time to slow down
Mhm.
and relax and decompress. And I think that yes, nature might be one of the best ways that you can, and it's free. A lot of times it's free. It costs no money to take a walk. It costs nothing to, you know, see a mountain and be like, I want to go on a trail up there.
Mhm.
But it does really help. It's like a breath of fresh air when you're done.
Right.
Like you can breathe again. And I think that once you find something that suits you, you will start to slowly see yourself, I guess, not compartmentalizing, but putting things into more in perspective for yourself to help you get through it.
Mhm.
And I think that was huge for me. That was definitely a big thing for me.
Right. Another thing too is if you have older children, you can make something, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of projects you can get there already pre-cut and things like that, and you can put them together and, things like that, or, because kids like to do that, be creative. So that's another.
Drawings or paintings. I
Mhm.
remember we did we tried pour painting once, and we've done it a couple times now, and Demarius loved that too. As a kid, he loved to be able to dump the paint everywhere, but it centers
Mhm.
your focus, and it takes you away from all of the bad energy or bad juju, whatever you want to call it, that's going on in here, and it helps you reevaluate your head. And I think that being able to take a step back and remember the person that you are and why you do the things you do, and remember that your child is looking at you and watching you, it will help form a path for you, but it will also help form a path for them. That's a healthy path that shows that you can get through anything by just taking a step back and reevaluating.
Yeah. The probably the last thing, because I know we're getting down to the wire here on time. The
Mm-hmm.
last thing I think I would say is that there's no rules of being a parent, you know?
No,
And so there's no right and wrong. And so often we think that we're doing it wrong, right? We're parenting wrong. And as long as you're not, doing something that's going to hurt your children, you're not doing anything wrong. I mean,
absolutely.
if you let them stay up a little bit later than normally, that's your rule. It's you make the rules as you want to make them. You bend them
Absolutely.
as you want to bend them, and you have no rules if you don't want no rules. I mean, so it's your gift to parent the way you feel like you need to do. And
And
so, yeah.
I think that you can't 100% agree with you. And I think that you can't let others around you who don't know your circumstances or your situation and they're not living your life dictate how you parent.
Mhm.
You are the only one who knows what's best for you and your child.
Right.
You are if this works for you guys, that is fantastic. It
Mhm.
may not work for me. It may not work for Cece. It may not work for Joe Blow down the street. But if it works for you and it makes your life happy and your child happy, there's nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
And I think, like you said, this probably being the last thing that I'll say on it is we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but you brought up there's no rules. There's no right or wrong. Remember that, but also don't be so hard on yourself.
Mhm.
Stop kicking yourself over and over again for something that you can't change. The only thing that you can do is really move on and make sure that if it was a mistake, you don't make it again, or do whatever you can to prevent you from having that feeling again.
Mhm.
And I think that as parents, like I said, we are our own worst critics. We have to be able to, we are still human beings. We are going to make mistakes. We are going to make oopsies and uh-ohs. But you cannot continue to dwell on those things and put yourself into a mind state where you're the one causing yourself to feel bad all the time, because
Right.
it's not fair. It's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to your child. It's not fair to your family. It is not fair. And it affects more than you.
Mhm.
It really does. If you are that hard on yourself all the time, you are never going to be able to see all the good that you have done and look at your child and say, wow, I really have done a great job. If you continue to critique every little tiny detail about yourself, you have to be able to love yourself and forgive yourself at sometimes too.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well
Thank
said.
you. Thank you.
This was a great show. Well, thank you, Adam,
Thank
for
you,
doing
Cece, for
this.
being on it.
Yeah, I appreciate all that you do for sure.
Absolutely. And I look forward to not next week, but the week after, doing another show with you.
Mhm.
King, my brother, has reached out and he was moving and got a new job and all this stuff, but he is actually interested in coming back onto the show and at least being a guest for one of the shows.
Awesome.
And then I do have an artist lined up who's a father, and he wants to be on a show. We're just trying to. I've been helping him with some of his shows too. So not like shows like this, but his actual like music shows. And
Mhm.
he has a lot. He just he just released an album, and he has a bunch of other stuff he's doing. But he definitely is. He wants to uh, come onto the show and say how proud he is of being a father. He just had he just had his second kid, so
Oh,
he
nice.
wants to come
Mhm.
on and really show how proud he is of being a father. So,
Yeah. Well, that's
um,
great. Well, you do a
but
great
yeah,
job.
I look
Mhm.
forward to seeing everyone there, and This has been a great show. Thank you, Cece. Thank you guys for watching the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Dad's Going Solo. We are on Thursdays now.
Yeah.
And we will be on at Thursdays, 6 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Right.
Is that correct? I'm horrible
Yeah,
with time.
it's like 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah. That's what it is. Okay. But we look forward to seeing you all there. Please go onto the website, dadsgoingsolo.com. Go to our Facebook page if you have any questions for myself, Cece, any of us. We will be on there. We will answer. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Yes, for sure. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.